Yeah, I think there are a lot of questions around this Edmonton Oilers team. Of course, the number one is number 97. He will be unrestricted at next year's season end, but they want to try and get that done this year at some point, maybe this summer. We'll see. You've got the goaltender situation. You've got Calvin Pickard, Stuart Skinner. You had two guys that, you couldn't quite figure out who was the number one. But, EJ, when you unpack all of this, what's next for the Edmonton Oilers? Where do they go from here? Because this is now 2 straight seasons of major disappointment.
Yeah, and it's hard when you lose in a Cup final to get back. I mean, the Florida Panthers lost in a Cup final, got back and won. Now they've won 2 in a row. But it is difficult. Historically, when you lose in a Cup final, you saw it there. Rarely teams get back, and then they lose twice in a row. Is got to be heartbreaking. He said it. Job one is getting Connor McDavid signed to some sort of deal moving forward. July 1st opens that window when they can sign him to an extension. He's in the final year of his contract. And if I was Connor McDavid, I would not be in a rush. I would wait and see what kind of moves the Oilers decide to make or what they can do in the offseason, and then maybe you play out the season. I think he wants to stay at Edmonton, but I think also he said it. He wants to win more than anything else. Now, he's got Draisaitl there. Bouchard has been a great offensive defenseman. They have some pieces. I'm kind of amazed they made it back to the final this year, quite frankly, KT, because I didn't think their offseason last year was very good. I mean, they lost to Holloway and Broberg, 2 guys that they were first-round picks that really were moving up and had great years in St. Louis, to offer sheets. They let Fogle go. They let McLeod go. Those guys were fast as speed players that helped them. And then they doubled down on older guys like Henrique and Janmark. They brought in Arvidsson. They brought in Jeff Skinner. I mean, I'm really surprised they got all the way to the final this year. I think that's a testament to the fact that McDavid and Draisaitl are that good. Now, they lost Zach Hyman in the conference final. That was a heartbreaking loss for them. He was lost to them for the final. If he was there, would it have been different? Hard to say. In the end, Florida just kind of wore the Edmonton Oilers out. And I don't think they had that speed and that youth, enough of it in their lineup to compete with a better Florida Panthers team this year. So in the offseason, I think Stan Bowman is right. They've got to try to find a way to add some youth and speed back into that group. Not easy to do. Right. And they had 2 players in Broberg and Holloway. They have both played very well in St. Louis. It's still kind of mind-boggling to me a year later that you allow someone to come in and take those players with an offer sheet. I felt you had to figure out a way to match. They didn't. That's all water under the bridge now. They'll have to find a way to add pieces and convince Connor McDavid that, hey, this is the place to be if you want to win and win multiple times moving forward. Did
you get the impression real quickly that there are those conversations happening maybe behind closed doors without Connor giving them an answer right now what his future is, what he wants to do? Do you think he's in those conversations with Stan saying, listen, we need this, and if we don't get it?
Well, I don't know. I would think
not so much an ultimatum, but just wondering if he's in those conversations.
I would ask Connor, like, what about players? Because, it was interesting what he said. We were doing the same thing over and over, and it wasn't working against Florida. I don't think that was a knock on the coaching staff. I thought it was, quite frankly, a knock at some of his teammates who insisted on trying to carry pucks in when there was no play. Evander Kane or Trent Frederick, there's no play. So just get the puck in. That just helped Florida moving the other way. I would say that Leon Draisaitl signed a long-term contract. I'm sure he didn't do that without the idea that having some kind of conversation with Connor with his plans. Jeff Jackson, who is the head of hockey operations in Edmonton, is Connor McDavid's former agent. So there's a lot of familiarity there. I think he wants to stay there. But if they can't make some things happen, I think the door is always open. Maybe he just goes short-term. Maybe he says, give me another year extension, 2-year extension, and gives himself that opening moving forward. We will see.
Yeah, we will see. It is exciting time.